So I want to clear up a few things from yesterday's video. Number one, I am against the lockdown, but I'm not for people going back to office life. And I'll explain that in this video. Two, I'm wearing shades because there's a bright window behind. Maybe I should just turn, then I can get rid of the shades. So going back to the office as per usual is not something I'm for. I believe it takes way too much time out of your life. Allow me to explain. So if you're an essential worker who needs to be office based, or you need to go to some sort of building to perform your function like a doctor or a firefighter, that sort of thing, then your bit's coming at the end. But this is a bit for people who spend time in an office working on a computer, which is a large amount of people considering we're living in a computerized age. Bear that concept in mind as I progress through this video. So just as I'm getting into the meat of this vlog, I get called into the office. Give me like 10 minutes and then we will continue. New PC. So the point I was trying to make earlier was working when you don't have to be at an office takes up entirely too much time of your day. And if you can, you shouldn't work from work. However, if you have a job that requires you to be at a specific place other than your home, your work should compensate you for that. Let me demonstrate this visually. Okay, so firstly, sorry about the background noise. I am off mic. Can if you want to hook a guy up with a camera that has a mic input jack, that would be legendary. But if you don't, that's cool as well. So what I mean by we work too many hours. This is an 8-hour workday for which most of us get paid. Hopefully you can see, but this is numbers 1 through, 12 o'clock in the morning till 12 o'clock in the morning. And circled in blue are the hours you should be work if you work an 8-hour day. 8 until 5 with a 1-hour break in between. What this means is you are renting your life out to your company for 8 hours a day. Sounds fair, right? However, do you really work only 8 hours? Take into consideration time traveled, and maybe it's an hour before and an hour afterwards. So now you're working 10 hours. Then take into consideration, most of us don't actually ever sit through a 1-hour lunch. So let's make it 10.5 hours. And then also consider the amount of time you take getting ready for work and getting unready after work. Let's make that an hour. So you're looking at about 11.5 hours out of a 24-hour day. Literally within half an hour of half your whole day, you spend doing things that are work related. And then if you factor in the additional sleep you need just to put up with the efforts of a workday, let's say 6.5, 7 hours if you are doing a good job of your sleep, then that boils down to something like this. You effectively have no life from 12 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock the next day. At 6 p.m. the next day is when you can start living your life, and you only get those 6 hours. Losing 18 hours out of a 24-hour day seems like a lot to only be paid for 8 of them. And that's why working from home makes sense. A lot of people think you can't work from home. Let me show you what working from home looks like. So the point I'm trying to make is that it can be done. And don't you think it should be done? Think about this. 68% of all suicides happen on a Monday, right? I wonder why. Consider pollution, right? Vehicular pollution, carbon emissions, climate, all that stuff that I don't really know about. But if you want to talk about vehicles, consider sitting in traffic for an hour, right? The amount of traffic fatalities we could avoid if people who could work from home did work from home. Now, I get what you're saying, not everyone can work from home, and those people should be compensated. So if your work starts at 8, you should be paid from the time you leave home, like an hour earlier. So you should be paid from 7, and if your work ends at 5, you should be paid until 6. I know what you're thinking, people don't do it, but they do. If you work in an industry that fixes copiers for a living, then the moment you leave your office is the time that that client is going to have to start paying you for. So if you get to the office and it takes you 30 seconds to flick a switch and the copier goes on because it was off by the power plug, you billing that client for 1 hour. So why not the same people have to travel to and from work and sacrifice that time before and after? I think if people did it that way, companies would soon realize, you know what? It's a lot cheaper and a lot more efficient and beneficial to everybody to just let people work from home. Lockdown, bad idea. Spending time at the office when you don't have to, bad idea. Working from home, if you can, good idea. This is going to be an ongoing thing. I'm just going to film random things and put it on YouTube because I got the time. But my gear reviews are still going to be every Sunday at 6, even though this last Sunday wasn't a gear review because it was like the initiation of this vlog type thing. If you hate it, please leave a thumbs down and say something horrible about me. If you like it, please leave a thumbs up and say something cool. And if you want to see more, maybe subscribe and hit the bell button. It's totally up to you guys. I'm still going to do my tactical stuff because I really, really love that. It's just I can't get out, I can't shoot, I can't get any deliveries in because everything's so slow. And I just want to connect with more people. So chat to me if it's good or bad. I cry myself to sleep at night anyway.